still believes the American dream. To his last breath, he'll always be a soldier.
Heard on great radio stations all across America. It's the National Defense with Randy Miller and Jerry Newberry.
The National Defense is made possible by Ford, Go Further, by the Home Depot, more saving, more doing, by ADT Security, more than just a line in the sand, by VSP. For more information on how VSP can help you with your corrective vision needs, visit their website at VSP.com. By Morgan Stanley. Discover how they can help you reach your long-term financial goals at morganstanley.com. By the Wounded Warrior Project, serving those who sacrificed for over 15 years. Find them online at woundedwarriorproject.org. By WD-40 Company. Wherever there's a job to be done, WD-40 brand offers solutions with WD-40 multi-use product and WD-40 specialist products to help you live life hands-on. And by Farmers Insurance. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Find an agent at farmers.com.
This is the National Defense, Randy Miller and Jerry Newberry. And Jerry, as always, our dedication.
Hey, this show's for you, the men and women serving in our military. It's for the millions of veterans out there, and it's for all their families. We're here for you. We love you. God bless you.
Hi, this is Dolly Parton on National Defense Radio Show, and I'm calling to give a great thank you to all of our men and women in uniform defending our country and for the incredible sacrifices you're making for all of us back home in America. I know you hear it all the time. Thanks for your service, but we truly mean it. We love you, and please stay safe.
And now I get to tell you about an exciting organization that I've just recently become aware of, and I was so impressed with them. I joined their advisory board. They're all about getting jobs for vets. It's MBA.vet. And Connie Robbins is their VP of Recruitment. Connie's on the show with us. How are you, Connie?
I am doing great. How are you, Randy?
I'm doing great. I want to get into this, talk about this, find out what you guys are doing. You were doing some great work for veterans. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about MBA Vet.
Thank you again. Yes, MBA Vet is, we're a resourcing company. And we are dedicated to serve our military in regards to job opportunities. I was fortunate enough, Randy, to be offered the opportunity to work with MBA Vet after, about 25 years of working in the recruitment field. And really the last few years working almost 100% with our veterans and just assisting them, placing them in career opportunities with some of the top companies. MBA Vet's founder, who is a disabled retired Marine, and I had worked on several projects together. And we both recognized that, we had the same commitment and passion, really, to serve those who served us. And so thus, MBA Vet was formed. Our mission is really to utilize our firm's unique background and history with our military, as well as the contacts, that we have built over the many years with the DOD and the VA and many military bases to provide our clients with outstanding veteran employees. We feel like we're unique in the fact that we help our veterans with training for new skills, resume preparation, interview skills, mentoring, and then ultimately, employment placement.
Well, Connie, let me ask you about this. It sounds like a great mission, obviously. You're helping veterans. It does sound like a unique organization. What kind of jobs? Give us a sense of the kinds of jobs that have been available for veterans. I know every company has a different kind of initiative in terms of what they're looking for, what they represent to veterans. But in terms of sheer numbers of people that you've helped, can you give us a sense of what we're talking about there with MBA Vet?
Yes. I'm really pleased to say that we helped one of our clients who trained and placed over 1,000 veterans with Fortune 500 companies.
Oh, wow.
He was actually awarded the Department of Defense 7 SEALs Award which allows him to go out on bases around the globe.
You're talking about BG.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that allowed him to go out on the bases and work with active duty soldiers that's discharging, like 180 days. It really does allow you the opportunity to help veterans, determine the next chapter in their career and, moving into civilian life. Furthermore, because of those efforts, the ESGR Pro Patriot Award was made in 2017. And as you probably know, this is one of the highest awards given in support of the military, and we were just really so honored to be involved. Right now, Randy, we have opportunities really across the United States, and it's in many industries. I'm talking retail and healthcare, the information technology space.
Sure.
We have some positions that actually offer training in the IT space, in which it trains, the veterans for a specific need in the IT space. We'll just say as a Java developer or cybersecurity analyst. That's one of our huge needs.
Wow.
We have, many different types of the skill sets, including business analysts, site managers. It's just really across the board. We do work with many different type of clients, so have a vast array of job opportunities for our veterans and their spouses.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to get to, is because I know that right now you do have some opportunities for female veterans and for military spouses. Talk about that a little bit, if you will.
Yes, in most cases, the clients we work with, when they're looking, to fill a position with a veteran spouse is also considered. So we're looking across the board for veterans, their spouses, and then right now have a huge need for the female veterans. And again, those locations are across the United States.
Wow.
So, I would encourage those listening to please go out to our website, www.mba.vet. We have a listing of job opportunities that we have, as well as my email address is on the site. Would love to receive some resumes. Once I get that, I'll call you personally, because I really do like to be involved, just to visit with the veterans, see where their interests lie, and then go to work.
All right, so Connie, walk me through that then. So I'm a veteran that's looking for employment. I go to mba.vet. What happens?
Submit your resume.
Okay.
I will contact you directly, so I will call you directly. And again, we'll just visit, what interests you, and then I will visit with the opportunities we currently have to see if there's a fit there, and if not, I'll get out and I'll start searching.
So now, and it doesn't matter what I want to do, right? I can tell you, I tell you my skill set, you find the job, or maybe I want to get into something completely different.
Sure. And in those cases, definitely the opportunities we have that include the paid training is definitely an option for those that, are open up to a new career.
Sure. And what about trade jobs? How many trade jobs are there right now? And are those tougher to fill?
They are somewhat, but again, our team just gets in and works hard and tries to place the veteran with the jobs that, best suits them.
Right.
Because, we all know veterans make incredible, very, very good employees. So it's really not a hard sell on this end, Brandy.
No, you're right. And I think more and more companies are getting that now, Connie. Companies like Clorox and Home Depot and some other giant companies have discovered, I think, in the past few years, how great an employee is a veteran. And so they're really almost competing against each other now to hire those kind of vets, right?
They really have. The market has opened up tremendously, and my response is, why wouldn't you?
Right.
It's just the right thing to do.
See, Connie, you're the kind of person, because I'm from the South. I know you're in Arkansas, right? Or you're from Arkansas.
Right, I am.
Yeah, and so you don't want to mess with a Southern woman who's trying to get a job for a veteran. You do not. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
I've been.
You do not.
I've been known to really push.
Yeah, if you don't want Connie Robbins on your bad side, is what I'm telling you. And the thing that's great about what you're doing, what MBA Vet is doing, is that it's somebody to go to bat for you. And that's the thing I think a lot of times with veterans that are transitioning out, they just need somebody to go to bat for them. And
that is absolutely right. And you know what, Randy? I have been so fortunate in the fact that, I've been able to stay in contact with many, many of the veterans that, we've placed in companies, even several years ago. And we stay in contact and through social media, whatever. And I'm so blessed because you can look at them today. They're, being successful in their careers. They're happy. Their families are doing well. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, golly, I was able to play just a small part at the very beginning of this. It's a very humbling. My job is very humbling, very, very rewarding. And it just makes me get up every morning and work a little bit harder. That's
great. Well, I mean, I can hear that in your voice and that passion that you have for doing your job. How gratifying, though, to find out what a difference you've made, and then to see those stories unfold for those veterans that have been placed in jobs. So that's just fantastic. Connie, listen, thank you for everything you're doing. God bless you, and thank you for letting me be on your advisory board. Very proud of that. And we'll just have regular appearances and updates here on this program for MBA Vet.
Thank you so much, Rand.
Thank you, Connie. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be right back here in the National Defense. We'll be right back in the National Defense right after this word from Farmers Insurance. When you're dealing with life's ups and downs, it helps to know the ins and outs of insurance. Farmers Insurance has been sharing practical insurance knowledge for more than 89 years. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Find an agent at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You bought a truck for a reason. To haul your stuff. But to keep your stuff secure, get a WeatherGuard Defender Series truck box at the Home Depot. It's the right fit for your truck. Made of thick, welded aluminum in silver or matte black, with tamper-resistant push-button locks. Easy access for you, a tough time to be a thief. The WeatherGuard Defender Series truck box, now at new lower prices at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only.
By the end of the day at this USO stuffing party, volunteers will have sent over 10,000 USO care packages on their way to our troops around the world. Full of little things that make all the difference and carry an enormous message to our troops. Little things. We're all about the little things. We're the USO. So are you. The USO until everyone comes home. Visit us at USO.org.
We're standing guard with the truth. The National Defense.
Welcome back to the National Defense. It's Randy Miller, and it's time now for another Morgan Stanley Money Brief. And we have Brent Crouch, a financial advisor for Morgan Stanley, here with us. Brent, thanks for being on the show. What are we talking about this week?
Hey, Randy. Thanks for having me on. I'm always happy to help those that serve our country. Today, I'd like to talk about planning for what happens if you don't make it home one day. You know, we often hear phrases like planning for the unexpected. Reality is we will all die at some point, and we should expect it. No one knows when, how, or where. So how do we limit the risk of that becoming a financial catastrophe for the ones we care about?
Okay, so we're getting into a pretty dark topic here. How can we plan for an unexpected death?
Well, you know, I think all about this a lot. 2 years ago, out of the blue, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
Oh, wow.
It was so unexpected. At the time of my diagnosis, I was honestly in great shape. I'm an ex-Navy search and rescue swimmer and was probably feeling a little too safe, and I was floored. Completely surprised. On top of that, I have 2 little ones and a wife at home that rely on my income. But I was fortunate. I had planned ahead. I had life insurance if I didn't survive.
Wow. I mean, that is a scary scenario to find yourself in, Brent. Thank goodness you had life insurance. I can imagine how much it must have helped to know that there was one less thing for you to worry about.
It was, Randy. At a very scary point in my life, I knew I was protecting my family regardless of what happened to me next. Just as important for me, it let me focus on doing my job, which at that time was getting through my treatment and getting well.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say I'm cancer-free today, but if I had not survived my cancer or something happens to me in the future, my family is still protected.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're here and healthy today, too. Thanks for sharing that story. It's a great lesson for our listeners on how life insurance not only let you protect your family, but also focus on what was important.
That's right. Life insurance can be a good option for many individuals. It can be a cost-effective way of protecting those that depend on your income if you die unexpectedly.
That makes a lot of sense, but does everyone need life insurance?
Good question. No, not everyone will need life insurance. That's the first question to answer. After that, it's important to determine how much life insurance you need. And finally, what kind of life insurance makes sense for your needs.
Understood. Okay, let's take these one at a time. How do I determine if I need life insurance?
One way of thinking about it is this. If your income goes away, think about who is impacted and to what extent you want to help protect them. For example, if you're the sole income provider for your family, you may need to replace all of your income. Or let's say you have an aging parent or sibling in need who you send some money to each month. Maybe that's the amount you need to replace.
Now, that's a good point. It's not just your spouse and kids. If someone else is relying on you financially, it's important to include that person in your insurance decisions.
Exactly.
Well, Brent, it was a pleasure having you on. Thanks again for sharing your story, man. It's powerful. Looking forward to continuing the discussion next week. We'll be back with another Morgan Stanley Money Brief right here on the National Defense.
This radio program does not provide individually tailored advice. It has been prepared without regard to the individual financial circumstances, risk tolerance, and investment objectives of the persons who receive it. The strategies discussed may not be suitable for all individuals. Morgan Stanley recommends that individuals independently evaluate particular strategies and encourages them to seek the advice of a financial advisor. The appropriateness of a particular strategy will depend on individual circumstances and objectives. Insurance products are offered in conjunction with Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC's licensed insurance agency affiliates. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC. Did you know WD-40 Company has a product to get the trusted WD-40 formula into hard-to-reach places? WD-40 Easy Reach has a permanently attached 8-inch flexible straw that makes it easy to keep equipment working properly by bending around parts and getting into tight spots to lubricate and prevent rust. Pick up a can at Walmart, Home Depot, or AutoZone and learn more about this and other WD-40 brand products at WD-40.com.
Welcome to F-150 Radio, the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Dean, go.
I'm all about lowering the bar, like I only brush my teeth on Monday.
The new Ford F-150 lineup raises the bar by being number one in towing, payload, and torque. It can make you more capable.
Capable, schmapable.
The new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
When properly configured, classes full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds GVW based on Ford segmentation.
Home is not just something you can see or touch. Home is a feeling. It's the place where you feel safe to have those little moments that mean everything. At ADT, we believe that feeling should always be there. Whether it's at your house or your business, we help keep you safe so you can have those moments that make you feel at home. Wherever you are.
50 years ago,
we built up to this war for some time.
They served a country You just really wanted to do what you could, help win the war and get out of there.
That wanted to forget them.
You know, war's not easy, war's not kind, hurts a lot of people.
The time has come to remember. Remembering Vietnam, a National Archives 50th Anniversary exhibit and initiative. Learn more at archivesfoundation.org.
This is the National Defense. Randy Miller and Jerry Newberry. And Jerry, it's a topic we talk about a lot.
For too long, far too long, we've been talking about it.
But this is National Suicide Prevention Month. And, of course, as always, the American Red Cross leading the way. And we've got two experts in the field, Dr. Margie Cukor and Melissa Pori, the mental health leads and services to the armed forces. Ladies, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Let's kind of talk to Dr. Cukor first. And Dr. Cukor, I can't even begin to run down all of your credentials. I mean, you're a psychologist at a state psychiatric hospital in Columbus. I mean, there's so many.
Well, the doctor, kind of says it right there, right?
I am a psychologist, and I do a lot of work with trauma-informed care and traumatic experiences and suicide prevention.
How long have you been dealing with the suicide issue?
Professionally, probably about 8 to 10 years. Informally, in terms of just my clinical work, probably from the get-go.
Have things changed from when you first started? Or is that always? Well, no. Jerry, I mean, I don't know why you're laughing about that, because I think things have dramatically changed.
Well, because
a suicide's a suicide. I get it. I understand that. But what I'm asking is the culture changed of suicides, because now you've got 22 a day. When you're talking about veterans, we talk about it on the program all the time. I never heard those numbers before.
You never heard it, but those numbers were there.
Okay,
let me tell you,
and that may be true,
because I can tell you more Vietnam veterans committed suicide
and still do.
The names are on the wall.
And still do.
Exactly.
No, I understand that.
So, but what's changed is the attention.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It hasn't had the attention. It has always been there. Veterans actually become increasingly more at risk as they age. There's different risk factors for groups. So as you get older, veterans, especially above the age of 55, above 65, that increases their risk. The general numbers for people who are either attempting or actually killing themselves also are increasing. But for a long time, it was thought that the military numbers would be lower than the general population, and they had been. And then it was, I want to say, I don't have the years, 6 or 7 years ago, where those numbers surpassed the general population in the military.
Well,
and that's when I think it started to even be more of a concern.
Tell me if I'm on track here or not. You mentioned that veterans of a certain age, 50, 55 and older, are at more risk than those younger. I think a lot of it tails back to the isolation factor. A veteran, you have a mission, you have your team, your comrades, whatever you want to get, battle buddies, whatever you want to call them, and then you get back to the civilian world. And that has a dramatic impact, and I think that increases once you're older. Your children leave home,
right?
Your friends you're passing away, and that sense of isolation comes back again.
Yeah, you've just hit on a couple of key points. You're right on the mark, because we don't always know what would cause somebody to consider, killing themselves.
Right.
And we still don't know for sure, but there are a couple of things that are showing up, one of which is that sense of isolation, that feeling of not fitting in, of trying but not having any place where they feel like they belong or that they have that family. The main character in Apocalypse Now saying, all the time when I was over there, I wanted to be there, and then when I got there, I wanted to go back. There is no place that feels comfortable. So the isolation, and that dovetails with what also happens as many people age. Their circle of friends gets smaller. They might lose a spouse. Family members might fall away. And so they do start to have isolation in that way, coupled with that experience of isolation from having been in the military and left and not having that same sense of camaraderie-ship. They have an increasing sense of burden. Some may feel like they're a burden to their family or maybe to society at large. And again, when people retire, they're like, so what am I doing to contribute?
Right.
And also in the military, when you have so much that gives you meaning, if that's not transformed in some way coming back, that becomes an issue also.
And Jerry, we've talked to people before on a program about some of the situations when they have disease and sickness that they're not going to be able to overcome, or they think they're not going to be able to overcome. I mean, that plays a factor.
Yep. Chronic physical ailments are a big piece also.
So what is the Red Cross doing? And we touched on it last time we had somebody on from the Red Cross. But the Red Cross, you don't think of the Red Cross immediately sometimes for, suicide prevention. But their program is set up, and that's the place really to go first, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So in the Service to Armed Forces Division here at the Red Cross, we actually offer behavioral health support in two different kinds of ways. We do preventative psychoeducation groups and also through intervention when a person is actually in an immediate crisis. So, on the prevention side of things, we offer various resiliency workshops, and those teach skills like how to tell if someone's in crisis, how to brief the subject, what types of supports are available, and that kind of thing. And then if someone's actually in crisis, we urge them to speak up and say something right away. And there's certainly a number of places that a person could call. There's the National Suicide Hotline, which, of course, is 800-273-TALK. There are places like Military One Source. And then, absolutely, our Red Cross Emergency Communications Line will connect someone directly to our Hero Care Center. And that number is 877-272-7337. But really the most important thing is that we want people to be able to talk to someone as soon as they start to notice that things are feeling, too difficult to manage, even if that person is a close family member or a friend.
So if you're contacted by someone in the military or a veteran, are you facilitating things back with the military and VA? I mean, do you guys interact, exchange information regarding a military service member or a veteran?
We work very closely with the command. So as soon as we know that there's somebody that might be in immediate danger or is in a crisis situation, we work to verify what's going on. And we do that by connecting with the command so that we can get immediate assistance to that individual wherever they are, whether they're here or overseas, right away.
Yeah. Now, this is Melissa Pori. She's the mental health lead, service to the armed forces for the Red Cross. So, Melissa, that's a touchy thing right there. And that's one of those things, right?
Yep.
Another stigma associated with depression or attempted suicide is once they make that report or somebody makes that report and you get that word and you feed that word back to command, it's touchy, isn't it?
It is, and actually that's one of the obstacles that we see to service members obtaining mental health care. And, one of the concerns people have is whether it's going to affect them professionally, whether it's going to have an effect on their ability to keep their security clearances. So we know that that's one of the barriers. That's one of the things that might be preventing somebody who is in immediate need from picking up the phone and seeking support.
Yeah, that's tough. Dr. Cukor, I want to ask you now, with all of your experience, how do you keep yourself together? I mean, that is not only is it a tough line of work, but the people that you're dealing with are on that kind of emotional roller coaster. That's got to be very affecting for you, right?
It is. Yeah, it is, and it again, you're like right on target, ahead of the curve, because one of the things that's important is for mental health professionals to make sure they take care of themselves. They can develop compassion fatigue, kind of the secondary traumatic stress, because they hear all of this information. Right. But, the mental health professionals and people who staff, VAs and other medical clinics and all would be in the same situation. So making sure that you have good self-care habits and a good, again, social connectedness, not letting yourself get isolated. You don't want to become callous to the circumstances or to the narratives and the stories that you hear from folks. You also don't want to be rubbed raw by it. So you really have to have a good practice in place so that you take care of yourself and you have people who understand what it is that you do. You know, you want someone who can say, wow, yeah, that's tough.
Well, one thing that is daunting, if you will, about suicide prevention is there's no set pattern, a behavior pattern with someone who's contemplating suicide or on the verge of committing suicide. I mean, they can be cheerful, happy, outwardly, and then next thing you know, they've taken their lives. So what do you look for?
There are a couple of things, and you make a point that sometimes people present one way, but their internal life is very difficult and very different. And they're starting to find that a number of people who actually have attempted or have been able to kill themselves did not have any kind of mental health diagnosis, because everyone sometimes will think, oh, you need to be depressed or you need to be mentally ill, and that's not the case. So you can look for a couple of things. There are a number of warning signs that you can keep an eye out. And so friends and family and loved ones often are some of the best folks to be able to notice these changes and trust your gut. That if you start to see something that's different, pay attention to that and say something. Certainly if people are starting to talk about killing themselves, I'm not going to be around here much more, I'm going to be gone soon, there's no more hope for me. They make expressions of hopelessness. They talk about feeling like they're a burden. They feel trapped. They talk about pain that they're unable to get any kind of relief from. You might see a change in terms of their use of alcohol or drugs or other substances. If you see them starting to withdraw and isolating even more, if you start to see a change in sleep patterns, if you start to see them calling people and it feels, even if they don't say goodbye, they feel like they're kind of closing off or finishing up loose ends, giving away, possessions. If you start to see increased irritability or aggression, all of these can be signs that they're starting to think about harming themselves or actually trying to take their life. And certainly if you start to see signs of depression or anxiety, that also could be a warning sign.
Yeah, and I think
that's when you say something.
Yeah,
that's
right.
When you ask them about it.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing too. Is go ahead. I mean, sometimes you got to stick your neck out and make sure of a person and make sure where they are. Dr. Cukor and Melissa Pori, thank you so much for the time. It's great stuff. I want to follow up on this, at some point because the Red Cross is doing some doing some great work in this area.
We would love to do it again.
That is so good.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much, and we appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. This is an important topic.
We'll be right back on the National Defense right after this word from Farmers Insurance. When you're dealing with life's ups and downs, it helps to know the ins and outs of insurance. Farmers Insurance has been sharing practical insurance knowledge for more than 89 years. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Find an agent at farmers.com.
We are farmers, bum, 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 bum.
Did you know WD-40 Company offers more than just a blue and yellow can? There's a line of high-performance WD-40 brand products developed for professionals that include degreasers, penetrants, and greases. The WD-40 Specialist Greases line includes a multi-purpose grease, a high-temperature grease, an extreme pressure grease, and a marine-grade water-resistant grease. The products are interchangeable with each other so they won't cause cross-contamination issues that compromise performance and effectiveness. Pick up a can at Home Depot and learn more about these and other WD-40 brand products at WD-40Specialist.com.
How do you thank the millions of men and women who have fought so bravely for our country over the years? At the Home Depot, we think it takes more than words. We believe the best way to show gratitude is to do gratitude. The Home Depot Foundation is committed to veterans and their families, improving their homes and their lives. Since 2011, we've invested $160 million to veteran causes and impacted over 26,000 veteran homes. By 2020, we'll grow that investment to $250 million. From simple wheelchair ramps to complete home makeovers, transitional housing, community support, We consider it a duty and a privilege to serve senior, wounded, and homeless veterans the best ways we know how. After all they've given us, it's the least we could do. $250 million by 2020. Doing more for veterans. Doing gratitude. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing.
Home is not just something you can see or touch. Home is a feeling. It's the place where you feel safe to have those little moments that mean everything. At ADT, we believe that feeling should always be there. Whether it's at your house or your business, we help keep you safe so you can have those moments that make you feel at home. Wherever you are.
All right, welcome to F-150 Radio. Today, the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Why? Eugene, go.
I think because Ford engineers always add new stuff, so the competition can't catch up.
Whoa, Eugene sounds like an expert.
Well, I got a store that sells exclusively bar-raising merchandise, like a calendar with an extra month.
An extra month?
Extrebuary. It has 32 days.
So you can appreciate the new 2018 F-150 raising the bar with available Bliss with trailer coverage. It monitors your trucks and your trailer's blind spots.
How about our new bar-raising poker chips? You can play with them or eat them. So,
The new 2018 F-150 raises the bar with auto start-stop, standard on all engines, and an available 10-speed transmission.
We have sandals with available built-in socks.
And we are out of time.
Huge in Oregon.
This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
Driver assist features like Bliss are supplemental and do not replace the driver's attention, judgment, and the need to control the vehicle.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hi, this is Morgan Freeman. Has anyone ever said, "You're the picture of health"? You look healthy, you feel fine, but that may not be the full picture. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Since it doesn't always cause symptoms, you may not know you have it. The only way to know is by getting screened. Screening can find precancerous polyps, so they can be removed before they turn into cancer. This is one cancer you can prevent. Plus, screening can find colorectal cancer at an early stage when the chance for a full recovery is very high. Talk with your doctor and get tested for colorectal cancer. Medicare and many insurance plans help pay for screening. Get screened. Make sure you are the picture of health.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
This is the National Defense.
This is General Colin Powell, and you are listening to the National Defense.
Welcome back to the National Defense. It's Randy Miller and Eye Insights with VSP Vision. We are learning so much about how to take care of your eyes, and even during flu season. This is amazing. Dr. James Winnick is back with us. Dr. Winnick, how dangerous is the flu?
Well, I think we get a false sense of security about the flu because it's so common.
Yeah.
The CDC estimates that millions of people get it every single year. And it's really something you should take seriously just because none of us want to have it.
Yeah, right.
And all the misery it creates.
Yeah, and I've heard this all my life, and my mom used to say that she has the flu in her eye or a cold in her eye. Can you get the flu in your eyes?
You can. If you think about how the flu is usually transmitted, it's usually person to person, right, and contact with respiratory droplets, whether it's on our hands or somebody sneezing in your face. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you can get exposure in your eyes as well.
Well, what are the common effects and causes of flu on the eyes?
So that's what most doctors refer to it as conjunctivitis.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Lay people refer to it as pink eye. I've got pink eye.
Yeah.
And So those are, the pink eye term is saying you have a viral conjunctivitis. So you can have a red eye or a conjunctivitis for lots of reasons, whether it's bacterial or exposure, contact lens overwear, but having a flu or viral conjunctivitis is actually one of the more common types.
So what do? You're out in the public, you're at work, you're at school. What do you do to protect your eyes during flu season?
Same thing you do to try to keep it from getting in your lungs and having the whole full-blown disease, which is hygiene. Wash your hands. Try to avoid direct contact with your eyes, nose, mouth. Take your vitamin C during flu season. Make sure you get enough rest, physical activity. And then if you think something's happening, get in early. Don't self-treat it. There's an awful lot of people that will self-treat with over-the-counter drops, but you can't determine why your eye's red. You need to see a doctor to figure out which type of conjunctivitis you have.
That's a great point, because I think a lot of people do that. My eye's red, I'll get some drops, I'll be okay. But it's always better to know exactly what's happening. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, Randy, this is great news. VSP is currently a vision carrier for hundreds of thousands of patients through the Federal Dental and Vision Insurance Program, which most people know as the FedVIP program. They're now going to be offering vision care for military families and retirees, and you're going to be able to enroll in vision care coverage during the open season, which is November 12th through December 10th of 2018. And that'll give you and your family coverage beginning in January of 2019. And you can get more information about that if you visit choosevsp.com.
choosevsp.com. Dr. Winnick, thank you very much. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Eye Insights with VSP Vision right here in the National Defense.
All right, welcome to F-150 Radio. Today, the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Why? Eugene, go.
I think because Ford engineers always add new stuff, so the competition can't catch up.
Whoa, Eugene sounds like an expert.
Well, I got a store that sells exclusively bar-raising merchandise, like a calendar with an extra month.
An extra month?
Extrebuary. It has 32 days.
So you can appreciate the new 2018 F-150 raising the bar with available bliss with trailer coverage. It monitors your trucks and your trailer's blind spots.
How about our new bar-raising poker chips? You can play with them or eat them. So,
The new 2018 F-150 raises the bar with auto start-stop, standard on all engines, and an available 10-speed transmission.
We have sandals with available built-in socks.
And we are out of time.
Huge in Oregon.
This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
Driver assist features like Bliss are supplemental and do not replace the driver's attention, judgment, and the need to control the vehicle.
Introducing new life-proof, slip-resistant wood-look porcelain tile from the Home Depot. Starting at just $199 a square foot, it's 50% more slip-resistant than ordinary tile. It's waterproof, stain-proof, scratch-resistant, and works indoors or out. Step confidently in your kitchen, bathroom, patio, or any area of your home with new life-proof, slip-resistant porcelain tile. Just $199 a square foot, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Selection varies by store. Slip resistance based on tiles that meet a DCOF less than or equal to 0.42.
By the end of the day at this USO stuffing party, volunteers will have sent over 10,000 USO care packages on their way to our troops around the world. Full of little things that make all the difference and carry an enormous message to our troops. Little things. We're all about the little things. We're the USO. So are you. The USO until everyone comes home. Visit us at USO.org.